Good morning and welcome back to another episode on the Coin Kings channel. I am your host, Down to Crypto TA. We did see a bit of a sell off here on Sunday. I mean, it tends to be that way. We pumped on Fridays and retraced on Sundays, but there wasn't a lot of volume in the move that we were getting to the upside anyway. Low liquidity. Um, I hope no one got trapped here. I did put out a tweet yesterday. I was looking at a rising channel formation on the 1 hour time frame. I was seeing the volume declining. Well, actually, the volume was already down in the move to the upside, but there was some bear divs and a couple of signals that were popping up on the 4 hour time frame. I didn't really put much language behind the tweet other than the fact that Bitcoin really needed to hold that trend line. I think it had got like three little small bars to the upside. When I did post on it, just stating, Bitcoin needs to hold. And once it broke below that ascending channel, I could see the head and shoulder formation being confirmed. I went back in for another tweet and let you know, hey, the head and shoulder, potential confirmation on that head and shoulders in play right now. And from there, more bearish signals just start to come into the chart. And really, though, the way that it just dropped, I really wasn't expecting for things to move as fast as they did. But that was what we got in the process. Um, I did take a long off of the low there at the low here. I took a long right here. So I'm holding this long right now, not because I think that we're going to go much higher, but just grab the position right here. I actually took the short from here, and because we kept trying to squeeze up, I didn't hold it for very long. I ended up dropping it. I think by the time we dropped into like the 382, which may have been this candle right here, like it was a really quick in and out on that position. And as I started to see it go down a little bit more, I'm like, dang, I should have just held that. I did have another short position open, which was it was somewhere in here. I did have another short position open somewhere in here, and somehow accidentally yesterday, um, when we were getting this drop, and I'm trying to put in my long, I hit short again. So I ended up adding to that short position, which puts me in right around where we are right now. So it dropped my entry price down to where we're seeing prices. Ironically, it dropped it down to exactly where we're seeing the rejection happen from right now. So I'm still holding on to that, even though, we're trying to, squeeze our way back through here. We are hitting the golden pocket. Let's just start there. We're hitting the golden pocket and we have the 786 right up above here. We had this regression line down through here. That's lining up with this with the golden pocket. So this is a bit of resistance through here. If we get through here, um, maybe this 786 would be the next place right here. And you can match up anything really. I look here if we do manage to push through here, but the volume is skimpy. Volume is very skimpy as opposed to the volume to the downside. This volume to the downside is pretty strong. Um, and the structure in here doesn't look, I mean, it looks like like five little small waves through here. Trying to correct off of this, but um, it doesn't look strong. Let me just put it like that. It just doesn't look strong at all. So I did tweet that this morning. Hey, 1 hour is at showing that we're at some resistance right now, and I used the 1 hour for reference because 15 minute was able to do well. The structure is different from the 1 hour, so I just let you know that we were hitting the resistance right here without adding any pictures or anything like that. I mean, everybody should be able to do some research and make a decision. Uh, but just a little resistance right here. I open up a fresh short from right here. We'll see how that goes. It's just getting started. It looks like we're trying to flag out a little bit to try and squeeze up a bit more. If we are going to do that, then I'd be looking for a 382 bounce from the downside. So um, let's see. It's already pretty much tapped into that 382 right there. Um, if it's going to hold and play out this little flaggy situation that it's doing to try to squeeze price up higher, then that 382 is probably going to be the thing that price is going to attempt to hold to make that happen. Okay, it wouldn't be golden pocket 786 or anything like that. Possibly not even a 50. Most of the time, it's like a 382 retracement if it's going to try to squeeze up and push in a little bit higher here and recover some of this sell off through here. Now, there's some pretty good liquidity down below here where I got this entry at here. And then there is some really good liquidity across this top too, which is something I was looking. I was looking at like two regions in here when price action came up. One was through here. So price action, I'm sorry, yeah, price capturing the liquidity that was through here. So I was looking at that as we came up, and then this stood out to me, and of course everything just kind of lined up to be like, okay, I'm gonna take that little quick short right there. But like I said, weekend you don't really know if you can trust. I mean, you can be right and still get, you know, you know, screwed up, really, just because it doesn't take much to move the market. I hear, I've never heard of, I think it's called Bit Deer or something like that, but I was just over on Twitter, just strolling through, trying to see what, sentiment was, what kind of news was out there about Bitcoin, and something about Bit Deer liquidating all of its Bitcoin. And of course, there's a lot of tension around the possibility of war. So, yeah, just a lot of things to be aware of. Uh, Not really seeing a lot of activity in the stock market either this morning. So let me see. Let me put this on the 24th so I can really see. I mean, so far this morning, stock market seems okay. I'm looking at the SPY. I know y'all don't have you on that chart. I know that, but I'm just looking at the SPY, and it looks, like it's just continuing to tread sideways. I can tell you right now, S&P is at a mean, so it can see a rejection here coming into this morning. Right at that mean. So that's what I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin. You know, taking another short attempt right here. See what we're gonna do. And if you don't know what this trend line right here is, right here, it was our channel from our 15-minute. It was this channel right here. The first time when we got this sell off right here, we broke through it a bit through here, but I figured why not take another chance on getting long right there. So that's what that is. That's the support that I was looking at as price action was coming down, and I knew that we took that liquidity, and it just, yeah, that liquidity from it's about 65,000, I believe it was. Yeah, we taking that liquidity. But such an aggressive move to the downside like this, just straight to the downside, just means we're putting in bear divs through here. Now, 4 hour, I got two different signals, but for the most part, that 4 hour, it looks doesn't look appealing. Doesn't look appealing at all. So I pulled the second fib here on my 1 hour because I like to, challenge my thoughts. So I pulled this fib here. Um, this is the one that you be looking at right here. Just depends on how much they're trying to get into the liquidity through here. Off of these two big candles, but that was pretty much a, let me see, capitulation. Let me see if I have my volume. Yeah, that's basically a capitulation candle right there with all of this volume through here, and you can basically see where the volume is really coming in with the red candles. So strong volume again, and then you can see how petty we were coming up. So ended up being a good short, which I wish I still was in, but scared money don't make no money, and I'm getting wrecked over the weekend. But it is what it is. So yeah, we were just doing this, and you can still see that volume is not as compelling with these moves up as it is with the moves down here. So choose wisely on your entries. Now we are back above the value area low from the 4 hour time frame. So we are back above that, and I think that we basically came back above that volume area low by coming back above this line through here. So we have this trend line through here, connecting these two lows right here. Now I dropped this one in here just to make it into a channel, in the event of this in the event of this happening right here. Now, I shared with you already last week that I was watching for this one-to-one fit retracement level right here. You know, it's marking out all of my probabilities, all the possibilities that can take place through here. Even I know the possibility of price probably coming back down into here to take this liquidity. I'm not really certain on this one right here because of um, just the huge amount of money that I did see come in right here. Now, don't mean market makers won't go forward, but I'm not betting on this, but it's still a probability. Everything's a probability. But yes, this is just me extending the channel down just in case price action decides to roll over. It doesn't want to respect this one-to-one, and it's going to come down into back testing, testing to the low of what could be a channel forming here. So some sort of descending price action through here. Oh, you can also mark out resistance through here. If you take away the wicks, it's the same thing. Up to here, I can just move up on this chart right here. Yeah, it's just I don't not got a bunch of lines going through, but if you just drop it like that, then you can see where we're at also here. So a couple of things I'm watching for before market opens right now. And again, like I said, I just opened a first short and see how that works out. As far as the daily time frame goes, what we need here on the daily would be to linger around the low in here. So if okay, so you can see, let me just zoom in on this a little bit more right here. At this stage right here, we were showing the potential for some bullish divvies in here. I think I told you this last week. I think it was last week. I know I said it to you, but I'm not sure if it was last week or the week before that. But right here, if we are going to put in some bullish divergence, my focus is really on this pivot here. And you're going to look at it from this perspective, just like that. You're going to look at it like that from that perspective. So we are back above it right now. Ideally, we would want to be below it on a closure, on a daily closure, to confirm bullish divergence. Because I could see it in the chart as this drop was happening, that it wasn't the math wasn't mapping on the RSI at least. I could see that, but you're back above it right now. It looks like it's trying to hold it as some sort of support right now, but again, I am looking for price action to come back down because we didn't really put in. We can't say that we have the bullish divvies right now. We can't say that we have it for certain right now, but on the daily close, which we're several hours out from that closure taking place, we do want to see it close below that point there. And then that'll give us the matchup that we would be looking for. And I can drop all of this right here. I'll leave this one up, but that would give us what I'd be looking for right here against this. Oh, looks like I might need to fix that. Yeah, I need to fix that. Okay. What I'd be looking for in terms of bullish divergence right here. You can look at this one too. You can look at that one too. Right now, I just know for certain that we were putting in the bear divs, but you can look at this pivot here as well, and how Bitcoin price action closes against that RSI today. A little over 12 hours for that to happen, but that's where we're at right now. This is something again I do expect for, um, this is bullish in itself. Regardless of how we get there, this part on the chart right here is bullish. You have to wait for it to confirm because anything can happen. It doesn't really tell us how much price action is going to go up. I know some things that I've been looking at is the 6-day fair value gap, and I really hate to talk about upside price action when all we've been doing is going down. I understand the frustration behind that. All we've been doing is going down, so um, makes it hard. Makes it really hard to sit here and talk about some upside price action, and basically it's just lower highs and continuation down. So I'm not going to say too much on that. Here we also broke through this level here that we have been holding through here ever since we got this wick down into that 59,975 zone right there. So again, but we know that because this was the wick that we took out right here, but we're back above it again, back above. Lots of support in here, lots of support through here. Take that away on this chart. So it's that, and nothing else through there. So you can see how we're again. I said they're gonna squeeze it up. They'll take it off of that 382. So just remember that going forward. If you ever see that, you see like a bull flag forming, um, and just I'm not sure if time frame is going to be a relevant thing, but if you see some sort of a flaggy formation forming, it's more likely to hold up if it bounces away from the 382. More likely to do it bouncing away from a 382 than seeing it retrace into any fib level below that. And this might have been like a 382 fib retracement right here. Also, pretty close. Pretty close. I'm not gonna let that stop me with my short, but again, I know that we're centered around some resistance right here. We're still just kind of grinding in between standard deviation 1 and 2 on Bollinger Bands as well. That's another thing. So if I put that on right here, you'll see we're still just kind of ooh. Let me get that off of here. Labels. All right, so we're still just riding through 1 and 2. So we're in the pocket right now. We're still in the pocket. After this crazy, crazy, crazy sell off through here. Just riding in the pocket. Let's see. I know that we have the bear divs on that 15-minute time frame. It's not necessarily visible through here, not on the RSI. It's not visible on the RSI. I'm looking at is volatility, fair div, which again, and they can squeeze it as much as they want to squeeze it up. You can be right and wrong at the same time. I can be right and wrong here at the same time, but there's no strength behind it. So if I pay a fee, trading fee, I pay a trading fee. Maybe take a small loss or something like that, but um, it just makes sense to choose to short right in here. Pull this in. I'm not going to draw out the short, you know, I'm not going to draw this out right here. Like, I've covered it, and if you're gonna take the short, then you can determine what your risk management is going to be. But definitely want to have some risk management through here, just in case. Keep your hit small if you're taking the short. Keep your hit small if price does go against it, because you can always re-enter. Okay, always re-enter. Paying the fees suck. Taking a small loss sucks. Taking a big loss, woo, ridiculously sucks. Okay, so but take the small loss if only. But definitely attempting that short right here. Ethereum. Ugh, my chart keeps wanting to reset me, so give me a second to get each set back up in here. My main focus is going to be on Bitcoin, so um, that's basically going to be it for me. Bitcoin. Uh, Because a lot of the other stuff it's basically gonna look like Bitcoin, and basically look the same because we're we're range bound right now. We're just range bound, and whatever I say, most of the stuff is still gonna be the same information. So um, yeah, it's all gonna be the same information. I'm just gonna regurgitate it again through here because Ethereum really hasn't. I mean, just like Bitcoin, we're still range bound, and by range bound, this is my range. This is how I identify my ranges, especially when we're inside of a larger candle. My range is that candle that we're inside. So this is the trading range right through here. Wherever this wick high is and this wick low is, this is our range right here. We're tied in between that. But in terms of support and resistance, like this area through here is support. Basically, for me though, I've been looking at the lower bound down here, which is where we got that bounce from right there for Ethereum, and we in this 786 up here that we lost. Those were two areas right there for me. Now I was accumulating on an Ethereum long position. I was using a 2x leverage accumulating on Ethereum, and I just decided yesterday. It was either yesterday or Saturday. It could have been Saturday. I determined to just cut it. I just wasn't liking it, and just wait for price action to absolutely turn around. I can just get in then, because either way it goes, chances are I'm not going to have the bottom, and that's fine. I just want to be in a safe space, because if Ethereum comes lower and it taps into that VWAP and it doesn't, and it deviates too far away from that VWAP, then it could be further downside. It can get really bad. Just, just just seeing so many things that in the past held zones that I identified as bear market lows, seeing a lot of stuff just absolutely demolish those lows. I can't think that it can't happen with Ethereum and Bitcoin. Even Solana, has I think Solana has. I'm gonna look over there at it, but I think Solana actually went through that low as well, and has the potential of going much lower, much lower. Which is something that I've been saying for a couple of months. It's been a couple of months of me saying that, and I'm starting to hear it more and more from other people. Um, but yeah, the lower caps could be signaling what the larger caps could be having coming for them as well, which is absolutely demolishing the bear market lows. What I identify as bear market lows. I'm just going to say what I identify as the bear market lows. But this was supposed to be my starting accumulation zone for Ethereum. I just cut it off. I don't want to deal with this. To be honest with you, the markets just look. Oh, okay, no. Markets just look like absolute crap. I don't care where we are right now, whether it's stock market, crypto space, uh, forex in terms of you know U.S. dollar. Um, it's whatever it is. It's just looking like complete garbage. So yeah, nothing's changed here. We drop below here, drop below this low right here, we lose the support that is here. Be looking down here at VWAP, which has worked before in the past, and if we deviate too far from that, then the numbers can get pretty bad. The numbers can get pretty bad, and I actually haven't figured out a um, where I feel like that low would be for Ethereum. I haven't figured that out just yet, but right now, after that, I'd be looking at where that VWAP is around 1523. Solana, turn the noise off. I know if I put that over here just so I can see where I might have that at. Okay, let's see, it actually tapped back into that trend line right through there. Haven't really looked at it since the only thing I'm trading right now is Bitcoin. No, it's not that. Yeah, yeah, we had demolished the bear market territory low. I was just trying to make sure I was right about us having already broken through what um what would have sustained as the bear market low, and we did, and that was around that 95.26 right there. So it was there. We were supposed to hold above that level, but we ended up breaking through that, which just opens up the door for the lower levels that I have been mentioning to you, which is around the $40 and $30 range for Solana. So yeah, uh, Bitcoin could be doing that same thing. I know we've been talking about this time could be different, but Bitcoin, could be doing that same thing. So could Ethereum. So like I said, I closed out the Ethereum. That was the one that I was really focusing on trying to build a position on, and just decided that it wasn't worth me um, taking the risk, even with the 2x. It just wasn't worth me taking the risk on it. So, and of course, if Bitcoin is going to do that, then that's going to be us taking out this low right here. So if we're taking out this low right here, that puts us in the position of breaking that bound of bull market, bear market lows. So if we're taking that out, like I said, this right here, if we're taking out this level right here, then we could be doing exactly what we've seen a ton of the altcoins do. They might just be leading the way. And I shared with you this chart here, which I'm not fear mongering by any means necessary. I'm not fear mongering at all. When I look at this, it just is what it is. Like it is something that would take a long time to play out if it were to ever play out. But there are things that we don't know that could happen. You know, I mean, we don't know. Political tensions, whatever it is, we don't know. Um, what could create, such a catastrophic fall for Bitcoin, but it is a measured move. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm not fear mongering that it is going to happen. It's just something that I'm just mindful of and watching. That's all. And that is that we've broken some structure and we're rounding at the top, which is, I've never seen rounding be a good thing. I've never seen it be a good thing. It's always led to a breakdown. And I say this every time I come on here. I hate the rainbow chart. Rainbow chart is a rounding top formation. I don't understand the use of it. I don't like it because it makes me think this way too. Just seeing a rounded formation is you know, that's what it does. That's what a rounding formation does. It's a slow bleed. I used to say that about Casper. That was something that I used to say about Casper. I said it about what was that coin? A lot of people were excited on it. Dang it, I can't even think of the name of it. Um, but just whenever I see it, I don't like it. I don't like it. So that's just me. And like I said, I was being generous in here too. Like just even drawing that out is just being generous in that way. Because if you do it like this, like it broke. We broke it through here. We came back up. We got the back test, and we rejected off of it. If you do it like that, you got it that way. You can change it from like that. You can do it like no, I don't want to do that. I want to do it like this. It's broken. If you do it like that, it's gone. What were we just looking at just then? We can switch it to, heck, we can even do it. Let me see what we got right here. Oh, that's the same thing. Same thing. Fell over it. Even if I do it like that, I mean, it's just like whatever you do is broken. It's broken. You can watch it like that. I mean, whatever. It's still low as crap. It's still low. I mean, I just don't like it. I don't like it. Again, first red candle since 2011. Since 2011, that's the first. Like, I mean, like you can see additional red candles through here, of course, but in terms of weakness in the chart, basically, is what that represents, and I haven't seen that since 2011. Like some major weaknesses in here. All of this green, like the greenest green. You got the green over here, but this was the strength to the upside, and that's freaking weakness. That's weakness. So, mm, just something to be noted. That's all. Just note it. Don't, not saying be fearful of it. I'm just noting it. I'm just making a notation that there's some problems somewhere, and no sense in ignoring it. It's like being sick and you're ignoring it because you're getting by. And by the time you, yeah, just let's just not ignore it, okay? All right, so short is playing out a little bit right now. Let's see, we have coming for us this week. We don't have anything this morning in terms of economic data. Nothing this morning. Let's see, Tuesday. Not really. Trump is going to speak on Tuesday. um, PPI on Friday, but not a lot. Not a lot of impactful data outside of watching for what's gonna happen. Um, surrounding the tensions of escalating war. And since we've lost that 382, that increases the chances of yeah, a deeper retracement. Let's see. I'm gonna take a look at gold. All of my charts are just resetting. I think I was up the last time I looked back at my gold position. I was up. Now we were struggling to get the move, but it looks like we finally got it. So looks like we did finally get it. Got it. I know we talked about this. We had not made it into the golden pocket. In here, I was looking for price action to roll over because it was a bearish formation in here, through here. And then I ended up seeing this formation in here, which I did post on it, but we were still just kind of lagging behind getting the move out. And I think the last time we looked at it, we were just still chopping around the low of this resistance zone right here. But we have gotten that move up. So I'm still holding my long position from over here. What I still have left on it anyway, which is barely anything. I really should have added to the position. But the way we were just hanging out, nah. Um, I don't really like adding to positions either. I really don't. Not when price action has moved so far away, which is why I hate that I messed around and added. But anyway, but it looks like we've just come into this golden pocket now. So a little structure change throughout here. And it's just the agony of waiting for something like that to happen. Let's see about silver because I was looking at the bearish possibility on silver, and gold might have helped it out a little bit. So yeah, silver. Yeah, because I was looking at this potential bear flag right here, and if it played out, getting down here into 35. Um, and so silver is looking a little bit better in here. It looks like you got a little inverse right here. So it did the complete opposite of what Bitcoin did yesterday. And it is above this area right here. So uh, once it gets above here, I'll kill this. You know, I probably should kill it now anyway, but yeah. So probably won't be getting that. See if price is not going to come back up here come up into this golden pocket or something like that. Be a structure shift right here. It's a rounding bottom, which is good. It's been really slow, 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 which is how we get trapped being overly bearish because it's slow, but it is a rounded bottom formation, which means it's slow, but it has some strength. So that's good for silver. Hi ho, silver. And although I'm not a big fan on cup and handles, maybe something like that could take place. But yeah, I'm still um, I'm still feeling like we're not taking out the top, but I don't know that we're taking out the top or not. Things change, and I either change with it or I'll get left behind. So that's that. This is what we had looked at on copper that day. So that's playing out. That's cool. Because we're talking about the trend line through here. If it's gonna hold, then that'll be it here again. So that's holding up. And if it's gonna break down, I gave that scenario as well, which would be the ascending broadening formation, which does it like that. But right now, that's what we got. So that's playing out. I've never traded copper. I probably should have taken that risk myself here, but I didn't. So I've never traded it. You'll see me talk about a lot of things, and I have zero bias to it because I'm not in them. Just covering the chart and saying you know possibility here, but I'm very selective on what I trade. So that's copper. Platinum, I don't think I gave anything here on platinum, and I didn't. Okay, so a little bit of a rejection right there on platinum. don't know that I have a particular bias on this one. Bull div through there, and then just started grinding, putting in bear divs right now. So it would need to invalidate. Well, it did invalidate this one. I'm not really feeling this chart. To tell you the truth, I'm not really feeling this one. So whatever's happening in here be a rejection first. So I will wait on this right here. I will definitely wait on this one before rushing in. This one doesn't look all that great in my opinion. A little bounce on Bitcoin from that 50% retracement, 20 SMA on the 15-minute time frame also. A little bit of a reaction right there. No biggie, but a little bit of reaction. Uh, might still try to squeeze back up. Just give it a minute. See what it does. Uh, but yeah, I'm not really feeling this one right here. See the bear deals coming in on it. So maybe once if it comes back above here and does, maybe if it gets back above here, if it does get above here and test that, and then do something like that, eh, possible possible interest in it. Probably won't trade it because I don't trade this stuff. Gold, gold is like and I've tried silver before, but gold right now has been like my main thing. All right. All right, so you can see the liquidity in here. I'm just going to refresh that a little bit. Let's see what we're looking like. So you can see the liquidity that we left behind down through here. It's like I was saying, liquidity. I think liquidity is worth looking at. You hear people saying, it's not. You just look at the pivots. Well, all pivots are not created equal. That's a fact. All pivots are not created equal. Um, and beyond that pivot, like where is that liquidity really sitting at? So I think it's worth your time. So you got quite a bit. I tend to look at what's outside of the graph. That's what I tend to look at. So anything that's poking outside of that is what I tend to look at. So right now I would be looking all the way down to about 63,845. And I always drop off the change. So the 14 gets dropped and 63,845 is what I look at down here. And like I said, anything that's outside of this, I'm paying attention to. And right now, that's going to be here. And I'm just going to add that up. So 68,475 right now. That's what I'll be looking at here on to the upside. We'll see. That's the high. That's the high part of what's outside of that. Win Lambo. I see the Coin Kings already responded on that. I'll really be chatting away and I won't see too much of anything being said in chat. Uh, I'm gonna just check and see if there's anything for us to have any concerns over through here. I don't really see anything really. Like I said, on the 1 hour, I know that we were hitting the 20 SMA on the 1 hour. Um, I knew we had some bearish divergence against this pivot over here, especially after, you know, such a large move down, fast move down, large and fast, as opposed to the stair stepping we did over here. I don't know if my notes showed up when I clicked through here earlier. They didn't because they're sitting in here. But this is what I was kind of watching. This was from the 21st, though. And that was what, Saturday? Yeah. So I was watching the QTD cloud, which is my indicator, and I was seeing that price action on the 4 hour had actually popped above it because it had been dropping down and crawling up on the price action, but it wasn't getting the follow through. And so that's what I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch for the follow through on it, which is why when I took that short position, I wasn't um, I wasn't feeling easy about holding on to it because there was still a chance that they could try to move that price action. So if I put this on right now, and let me take that off, right there. But this is what I was looking at happening in here. So I was seeing this cloud drop down and dig its way up under it, which, could lead to some bullish price actions. I was trying to be very careful about getting caught up in my short bias. But I was noting that, there wasn't any follow through, and I just needed to watch this and see if we were going to get any, and we never got it. And then this is where I started to feel a lot more bearish because it flipped through here and it started climbing up above price action. So everything that I had been waiting on the 4 hour to come through played out. It played out. And that was when I started, just kind of trying to update this a little bit without having to be late trying to put a whole bunch of information out. Just little small sentences about price action, things to look for. So if there were to be some sort of hopium, and I said, I know nobody wants to talk about that because we're just seeing price action fall over, it will probably come from this. It will probably come from that. So you can see, if I step back, you can see the bearishness through here. That's what it tends to indicate when you see this cloud rising up, and bullish divergence when you see it rolling over like that, because then it starts to squeeze price. So you can see the higher lows through here, which is a squeeze on price action. And then once it tips up like that, jumps up above price action like that out of nowhere, then you start putting in bear dips. But there is a possibility still, and there is still a possibility. And you're probably not going to see that anywhere else with this bullish divergence down here. And it can just mean that we continue to squeeze and range in between here. It's there though. It is there. I'm not bullish on it until price action is actually above it and there's some follow through, but it is there. I can't find it anywhere else, but it is showing here. The bullish divvy right through there. In here, did anybody see how dead the RSI was yesterday? I mean, dead. Like, I don't even use a 30 as my low, and we were dead. I think it was like 11 or something like that on the 15 minute, and it like 19 or 15 on the 1 hour. We were some horrible numbers. Like I said, I don't even use a 30. A lot of people look at 30. I don't use 30. Uh, I use 20 as oversold or extreme weakness. I really hate to say oversold and overbought, but I use a 20 and an 80. And then, I look at, possible SFPs and things like that off of RSI. But it was pretty bad on the 15 and the 1 hour time frame. And then I saw this and I'm like, okay, y'all, like we're so deviated outside of that band. It's crazy. It's crazy. But this is one of the things that I was looking at through here too. I was watching us rise up because the way we started out, I didn't like the way we started out. Uh, and I didn't even get that much profit out of that long position that I had taken. I took profit one time and I took it really early, and the rest of it just went back to the market yesterday when we got the drop. But I was prepared because I was, I had the short position open anyway, and again, I was trying to take the long, and I ended up taking the long anyway. Once I realized, oh my gosh, my entry didn't trigger. Um, and I got in. Um, Ended up taking the long anyway, but yeah, I say my entry didn't trigger, and I realized that I added to my short position instead of taking the long entry um, before correcting myself and getting into long entry. But it moved my short position a lot, which is crazy because I was about to take profit from it because I realized that I was like up about 100% on it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take profit on this thing. But I added to it and moved the entry. Uh, so not the best entry anymore. But I didn't like it. This is just CCI, um, revamped CCI. But I didn't like how we started out here anyway, because this was above price action. This right here was above price action. Like this part in here was good. So I was just waiting for it to come back up and see us breaking back down below it right to here. So we're far from it right now. A little fast signal through here, which can be slow, but you have to front run these signals on this thing right here, but pretty good nonetheless. I want to see some bullish divergence coming from within here. I really want to see some bullish divergence off of this RSI. I don't necessarily have that right now, but I just said all that to say that's what I was looking for in here. Let me check 12 hour. Um, yeah, yeah, possible. I mean, like before market close today, possible we get that bullish divergence that we just weren't putting in here. Just weren't putting in. Uh, that hasn't confirmed anyway. That bullish divergence. Come on, Bitcoin. Yeah. Here's the Here's the short position here. Like I said, this is the one where this is the short right here. Now this is the one where I screwed up and I added to the position right here. This isn't the fresh one that I just took. I'll show you that one, but this is the one where I screwed up and I added to the position, and it dropped me into an entry around 66 430. So like I said, I was right here. It's ironically it's right in here where price action is kind of stalling out a little bit right there. And then the one that I just entered, let's see if it's even in profit right now. It's a little bit. And just refresh that. So this is the one I just opened in here. And I don't think I did it until this candle right here. I think that's what it was. You see the difference. No, which one is this? No, this is a different one right here. What short is this one? Not sure which one that is. I don't think it was the one I just clicked on. Try it again. Let me see if it's coming into my PC. I'm gonna try this again. I don't know. If it doesn't come up, then it's just going, the image is going elsewhere. Okay, yeah. So this is the one that I just opened right through there. Like I said, I didn't even take the top. I didn't. I hesitated to see if I even wanted to open up a new short, and decided, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. So you can see the difference. So yeah, this is a fresh short right here, and um, and then the long position from here, which I am in. Sometimes I just want to say what I'm doing, and um, and just let that be it. This this is the long position from here. So that's the long position. Took off the low in here. It was as soon as it tapped it too. I was like, bam, get in. We'll see what happens. I haven't TP'd off of it, so just been sports trading a lot. Doing a lot of sports trading. And sports trading is like sports fishing. You catch it and you release it back to the water. See what they're gonna try to do with this squeeze. What I'm seeing on the 15-minute right here. Typically, it goes to the downside, but um, I don't have a reason to doubt it just yet. But we'll see. I'm looking at this. Hmm. Oh, bitty. Just hanging out. Slow is slow. You got the 200 EMA just above overhead as well. I think that's coming in around the might be coming in around the 786. I'm gonna just see where that is. It could be around that 786. Yeah, it actually is. So you have the 200 EMA coming in right here around the 786 as they continue to hold this in here. That's why I keep referencing that. See what they're trying to do right here because we're holding slowly, but we're holding. So again, could try to get into this 786 with that. Let's see, pardon the lines, okay? I think that's exactly about like how that is right there. If I were to see something like that, which would be absolutely crazy, in my opinion, to see that. But you can do it whatever you want before this market opens. They can. Whoever got the most money do whatever they want before this market opens. So that's something right there. It's finding all the confluence. Mhm. Make sure. Short side of things. Let me switch. Make sure I got that stop. All good to do. Yep, it's all good to go. And again, what is kind of chopping again through here, is the on the if you're looking at the 1 hour, you can look at your 20 SMA. If you're doing a 20 SMA, um, it still looks like it's trying to flag out right there, which just basically states that price action is trapped between support and resistance. That's it. So what this is saying, hey, I'm stuck between support and resistance. And because of that, I'm creating a pattern. I'm just going to use the Bollinger in this case, but you can see that 20 cutting through, cutting down right here. And that's what price action is. It's falling around. Uh, and this was just the fib extension. Not fib extension, but fib retracement. Uh, and some lower targets. It's like a 1.414, I think. That's what that is. 1.4, yeah, 1.414. That's what that is. I'm gonna get rid of that. You got that 1.618. Actually, I want to do that. I just don't want it sitting on the chart right now, so I'm gonna hide it. But yeah, that's what you're tagging right about now is 20 SMA here. And that was the little head and shoulder right there too. So it wasn't offering much. It just ended up doing it. So it just ended up doing it. It was supposed to be that simple. And then I was looking right around this wick right here. Um, and then it just started to look worse and worse. And yeah, we got this capitulation candle, that volume. And this, of course, wasn't like that. This was like this. And I didn't like seeing us whipsawing through it. And so that's when I did it like that. And that's when I posted. Okay, I was like, okay, I can see you. So that was when I posted it. Like, hey, it's got to hold. It's got to hold here. We didn't. We're not really doing too much on either side. Let's see here. Ethereum's trying to flag out right here as well. So I think ETH looks like it. ETH looked like it's still sitting at the 382, or it's close enough to it. It's not exactly on it, and I just moved down to a 15-minute, but it's still 382 is right here. So I have the 382 and the 50 is what I call the bullish duo. Really, you start to come into premium when you get around the 50, but 0.2236 is very, 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 very shallow. So I switched it back to the 50 instead. And 50 could line up like a fair value gap, though. And you got one in here, of course. Got that gap right there, which price action is holding on to. But I'm going to change this to a bullish fair value gap, just like that. So that's what it's sitting on top of right there. And then right here where we have the 50% retracement at, 382 would be the thing I'd look at first. It's sitting up here holding on to that. So could be still developing. He'd be looking for it to hold halfway point on the fair value gap though. It sits close to that 50. Just waiting on some bullish divergence to come in, which seems likely the way we've been holding. We grinded up, we grinded up and held long enough to assume that we would drop down into some bullish divergence. Which in this case will look like a lower low in price action and a higher low on the indicator. So higher low on the RSI, lower low on price action, which means my long would get stopped out. Probably should just lock in something off of it. But I had another long that I took too, which wasn't from below. Had another long that I opened and I closed out and took some profit on that one. So just let that be. Let that be it. Still Bitcoin. Bring us down, please. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Send it down. Send it down. I feel like I'm betting against myself. Send it down. Oh boy. Like I said, we really don't have any data this morning. I don't know why they're stalling it out, but we really don't have any data this morning. It's gonna get close to that time for me to get out of here. But you know, I hope the short works out. It is still flagging. It is still flagging out for the possibility of where you can look to. Like I said, if for some reason they manage to squeeze that limit up, be sour for the Bears because it at least get into this gold, this 786 in here where you're also going to have your 200 EMA sitting there as well. But 1 hour, like I said, has some bear dips on it against this pivot right here. You're hitting the mean, which I wouldn't be expecting for us to just blast through the mean. I just wouldn't. So you're getting the mean rejection, not just with the 20 SMA, also on the RSI. So you have the mean of the RSI also. MACD is trying to come up. It reads corrective at the moment since it is very far from the zero line. But, like I said here, and here, volume is, garbage to the upside. You don't have supporting volume as we're getting the move to the upside. So volume is mainly within the moves down. As we can see, the moves down have been carrying a large amount of volume to it. Right here, like I said, you're at the mean, so you're getting a mean rejection right here. RSI mean right here. It's right here. I saw when the RSI had actually pushed up a little bit higher towards it, but you're also getting that with the bear div against that pivot. As I mentioned, the bear div there. That's the swing fail on the RSI right there. I like to look at those. I'll go back and add one to the low, but I wouldn't expect for the RSI to drop back below this low. I expect for that to create some sort of bullish divergence if we're going to get it, which means price comes back down and takes out this low. That would be what I would be looking for. Now, if that doesn't happen, we just put in a higher low and on both price action and indicator, and then we try again when market opens to try to squeeze things back up. Uh, you would start to get a little bit extended here. Like I said, you're hitting the mean in here also, which is just the same thing as looking at the Bollinger Band and seeing the 20 SMA rejection here with price action there. Bitcoin. This was just that low over here that I traced out. So possible, like I said, if we're not seeing price action take out the low right here, you could look for something like this time it gets into here and it actually holds this level this time and treats it as support. Once again, as it was support right there, it could decide to treat it as support and then try to come in here and get up here, take out that high, take this out, possibly take out this right here where that liquidity is sitting at right across there. All right, so something to look for on charts. I think it's a good idea to, I didn't mean to go backwards on you. I think it's a good idea to also just kind of map out like this just in case. Just in case, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's just say they want to floor it a little bit more today. They're feeling a little bit more bearish, whatever, geopolitical issues, blah, 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 tensions. To see if it does take out this low and it does seem to look more aggressive, I'll be checking for something like that. Like you can put on the one-to-one, which is simply going from the high to the low to the high with your fib extension right here. You're gonna look around this area right here, which is the one-to-one, and back into here, which is probably gonna be let's see. Are we hitting the golden pocket in here as well? Let me see. I think we might be. Let's see, dynamic duo. Yeah, so we hit the golden pocket right here as well. I saw that. I saw that. I saw that last night. I was like, why am I back at this golden pocket? And I saw us hit the 618. No, it's at the 65. It's at the 0.65. Uh, I mean, I can't tell, and I don't like having 0.65. I saw us tap the 0.65 at the same time, but that descending trend line. But I just jumped in on it when I saw it. I have reason to not. But yeah, that was a golden pocket also. So can look at this right here. Just depends on how it happens, something like that. Price comes down, taps here. People waiting for it to hit the 786. Doesn't do the 786. It just slightly front runs it or something like that. You can never be too sure. So it could be something like that if we start to see something a little bit more aggressive. Can be something like that. So here's something to note. There's a lot of things to consider. Just sort of how I'm looking at it right now. Some things that I'd be looking for if I were to, you know, um, need to inquire about a new position. Let's see what the Bollinger looks like in this case, in between this area, because that's important. And you have to know that that is important. Yes, we are holding back above that support. Let's see from there. We are holding back above that support. We're gonna turn off something. Just see that. I did notice that this had came up a little bit in here because this was supposed to be in line with this. So when I drew this out, I wanted to be as close to this as I possibly could be because anytime a slow moving average is lagging behind, the rest of it is short lived, and you come back towards that slow moving average. I didn't pay attention to this yesterday because remember I said right here around this 1 to 1 was where I was going to be looking at. And the reason why, because that 1 to 1 also paired up with this moving average down here. So I was looking at that. And I saw it rising over the weekend, but I really wasn't paying attention to the fact that it was actually bouncing off of that as well. So we get trashy back below it. Let's just start there. We will get trashy back below it. But all of this is just consolidation. It's just the concept of consolidation. That's it. But we will get bearish back below it. I see you. And I did not pay attention to that yesterday. Um, when I jumped in this thing, but yeah, I noticed it was coming up a little bit. That would have made me put more money into the trade that I took instead of. But, I mean, I'm comfortable. I took a comfortable position, so I can sleep. I can sleep and I feel comfortable about my trade. I want to feel comfortable about the trade I'm taking. I wanna, I wanna, you know, make a lot more than what I'm making, but everything adds up, and I have no shame in it. So anytime you end up with more than what you started out with, it's good, regardless. Right, so we're on the low of the dynamic cloud right now. Also, this prior high right here. I mean, we can see that we're still holding roughly around some support. Still holding roughly around some support. That might have been like a golden pocket tap right there, since we did lose the 382. I'm just gonna flip that. Yeah, golden pocket tap. So a little psychological level, you got that. You got the low of the cloud, like I just mentioned. So you got that. You got that prior high right there as well. So you can see a low of the dynamic cloud right there, 65, 867. Possible head and shoulders right here. Also a head and shoulder. Um, it looks like this is starting to curve down, like they want to try to push this thing up. That's what it looks like. It's like they want to try before it opens. A nice little reaction right there. I just see that bend. Anytime it's inside like that, see that bend right there? It's ever so slight, but nice reaction right there. All of that good stuff is still formation, still corrective, still holding the mean as well. So the 15 minute itself is holding the mean. 1 hour rejected, but 15 holding. And they can try to. I'm telling you, you can be right and market can still F you up. You can be right and still get screwed up. I guess technically you're wrong. But yeah, they trying. They're trying. 66,655. 66,655. 56. 66,656. See what happens. That little being is telltale. 'And it's moments like this when you see something like this happening that that'll make some people, and I say this because it's from experience also, not want to close out the position when you're invalidated. It's moments like this where you're like, I know I'm right, and this is garbage on the chart, so I'm not gonna set my stop or just respect the stop that I have in place. I'm just gonna move my stop because I think this is going to happen. And we all go there, and I still do that from time to time. So I know the feeling when I'm saying that, but it is better to be stopped out. It's better to be stopped out and take the small loss, because if you're right, you can still choose to re-enter at another area, at another level, and you save your account. So don't move the goalpost. Just leave it where it is and be stopped out. And I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. I know I'll do it. I will do it sometimes, and I notice every time I do it, it never turns out good. It never turns out good. So, just saying. Oh boy. Here's the thing. Keep that number in mind too for this 15-minute time frame. So I'm gonna take that off the chart so it's not a bunch of noise on here. But here's the thing. Right here, like right in here. So if they get it through that 50 right there, the candle size will get larger, and it's going to go higher than you think it's going to go if they can get it through that. if they can get it through that. That's all I'm saying. About to see that right now. It will be a larger body candle, and for that reason too, they get it, if they can get it through that mean straight up into that 7 8. Well, that's gold pocket on this time frame. 786 on 15 minute likely. Mhm. Out here. Okay, yeah, we just opened up that new candle. It's on 1 hour. Should have on 15 minutes. They really trying it. They're really trying it. So if they getting it through, I think that lines up with the golden pocket on that 1 hour as well. 67, 67.10. Let's see what that is. Yeah, it does. So I'm gonna take that away so we can see the numbers. Yeah, so that lines up with the golden pocket as well. Um, that 786 and the golden pocket are the same. And then remember right there, you also have a 200 EMA sitting right in here. Um, some confluence resistance, and then also you'll have, if you do this right here, you have that there. Uh, yeah, you have that line through there, and let's see, and then let's see, you have that 200 just slightly down below that, right through here, and then there's a 400 right there. So um, it'll be a superior zone if they can manage to get through here. It'll be a superior zone right there. I can say I'm so glad it didn't stop me out of that short, because it's nothing worse at the same time than getting stopped out and then a price action going in the direction of your trade. Like it just stops you out, and it's like, why me? So I'm glad it didn't manage to get in there and stop me out. And then you pay the fee, and then I mean, it's still better. It's still better than thinking we know and we're wrong, and it just keeps going. Higher off of crap volume. I'm just glad in that moment it didn't stop me out. So, know what happens from here? Uh, I'll just try that short again if it comes up here. Let's see what the hell. Okay, line is right there, so it didn't hold. Make sure. Let me see. Yeah, that was correct. Let's see what it did right there. I don't know why. I'm feeling a little salty right now. I'm just thinking about, every time I hear, because you'll see on this channel right here. For the most part, I am a volatility and momentum trader, and um, I've increased and become very excessive with trend lines. And you'll hear people say, and whatever your strategy is, just respect your strategy. There are people who talk garbage about a lot of different strategies because they're not successful with them, or because they don't really understand them. Like, they'll explain it to you in a way that they think they know, and you really know nothing. But markets are trending. Markets are trending. That's why trend lines work. Markets are trending. And you don't rely on them alone, but markets trending. When they're not trending, they're going sideways. But I've gotten to where I excessively draw some trend lines. Excessively. Because that's what the market does. It's no different than using a moving average. And people say, well, I don't use moving averages. If you use VWAP, guess what that is? A moving average. Everything fails. Even Elliott wave, it fails. Everything. There's no one way of doing it that has a 100% hit rate. The only thing that doesn't fail unless you allow it to is your risk management. At the end of the day, that's it. That's the only thing that can fail. That, you know, won't fail. Won't fail is your risk management. Everything else will fail. RSI fail. Market cipher fail, which uses a lot of different indicators, by the way. Let me just say. So anybody who's using market cipher, they're using VWAP, they're using RSI, they're using money flow. You're using a ton of indicators all in one. So people say you got all those indicators on your chart. Well, market cipher is about 6 freaking different indicators rolled into one. So somebody started out using a bunch of indicators and decided, you know what, I'm gonna pack this all together. I don't care what nobody say. I do get annoyed sometimes hearing stuff, but at the end of the day, do what works for me. Come on, Betty. I said there was nothing in here that I could see that was going to take place today, other than just, markets holding out for open or something like that. SPY, like I said, SPY was around the mean. So SPY, at least around the mean on the 24-hour chart that I'm looking at here, around the mean. And getting a little bit of a mean rejection this morning off of SPY, but SPY looks like it'll continue to hold the lows down there around about 677. What it looks like. You know what I didn't look at today? I did not look at USDT dominance. Um, which I know we were looking for. Let me just put it on here real quick. I know we were looking at this point right here being a rejection point this time because it didn't work for us over here. Um, that go around, we actually came back to the top side of this ascending Broadman formation in here. But I said maybe we can look for a cap out right here on USDT dominance, which again, there were two other times that price action actually rejected right off the midpoint of that range right there. I'm close to it, so we'll see what happens today. Just with the couple of things I did state could happen. I got this zone mapped out 8.761 to 8.216, and then just put on the center line, which is the midline, just to see if it does come into that, if it rejects like it did right there and there. And then VIX right now, it's coming back up. I'm probably gonna have to drop this, as this was Friday, so I'm just chopping about it right now, but probably have to drop that if VIX comes back up. Well, you can see the regression line here at the low down here on VIX for one, and then resistance zone right through here. But there's also this this top channel, top line right here for VIX as well. It looks like it's going to try to come back up, so I don't know how this is going to hold up. Because it is, Bitcoin got above that mean, at least on the 1 hour for now. It's showing that it is above it. I'm hoping that we get this drop. I just see the desperation of getting price action up there before market opens, and then whatever happens from there happens from there. VIX looks like it's building up some strength right here, though. And I said I was going to leave this like this, because these were the moments where the VIX dropped below this line and came back up and went higher. So it dropped below it, came back up, and started back trailing. Trying to hold it right now. But like I said, VIX is around the mean, and the S&P also around the mean, but kind of rejecting a little bit right there. S&P. So you can see this is the one for the S&P. It came in and hit it this time, and I'm just using the first two pivots through here. And I don't leave the points where price action actually broke above. I usually come back in and reset it, but it can be done either way. I do it like this every now and then just to look at where it fails or a move down, where it fails for a move down, fails for a move down. It's rejecting off of it right now. So it's around the mean, seeing a rejection right now, at least from this 24-hour standpoint. It'll look different whatever chart you're on. But from this one, that's what it is right now, unless it flips up, continues higher. I don't see it really breaking below here today. Maybe somewhere right around this area, continue with this kind of sideways price action, as far as I can tell. Spider. I didn't have anything else open over here. Just those. Let me just see, it's from a 4. So on the 4 hour, you got the 200 EMA. 200 EMA right here on the 4 hour. Got the 400 right down here. So it's been basically holding pocketed area right here. That's pretty much in tune with what I was saying about 677. I think that's what I said. So that's 676. It looks like it doesn't disrespect this for now. For now, like that'll be a holding zone. All right, get back over here to Bitcoin before I go. Oh, actually, I'm getting ready to go. Thank you. Love you. Good job, say. Yeah. So it's gonna be time for me to get out of here. I hope you caught everything that I said that I was gonna be looking for. In case I do need to re-enter again, I will be looking up towards that, towards the 786. If for some reason the volume is trash, let's just start there. Volume is trash. Now volume can come out of anywhere. Volume is a lagging indicator. It's a lot of lagging indicators. That's why volatility, I like it a lot because it's not, it's very responsive. Volatility is very responsive. But might have to re-enter this position from higher. Hope not, but might have to. And I think this right here, if it's on like the 1 hour, that might line up with. Actually, I don't have to be on the 1 hour to say that. Let me just draw from there to here. It's above. It's above that. To get into this liquidity. But volume again is garbage. It's not there. There's no volume. There's no volume. It can come out of nowhere. I didn't see anything option wise that would. Oh, you know what I didn't check today? Got any gaps in here? Okay. So we got this little common gap right through here. Got another common gap right down here. We got in here, got a little gap right here from the move down. So they try to get to this right here. I'm not saying it's gonna, they might try to get to this. They're trying to get to something. Like that. Got that. Got this right below here. Let's go ahead and draw that. I still haven't figured this one out because this stuff doesn't seem to work. It just doesn't seem to work. It's like that. We've got a couple of common gaps that tend to get filled. Common gaps are, they're quick to get filled. Not something you usually wait around to fill. and I don't see any relevant information right now on option prices. So with that said, I'm gonna call it because I mean they're trying. The Bitcoin price action has a closed, well, actually an open candle above the 20 SMA, so it has an open candle above there right now, which is new. It's a change of behavior. Firm believer in behavior change that it's probably get stopped out. Look again around the 786. Be the 786 here on the 15-minute time frame, which is the same price point here as the golden pocket on the 1 hour time frame. But they got it through there. They did get it through. Haven't got above that mean yet, but this candle is trading. Um, Trading above here. Can it change? Sure, but it is treating it like a little trampoline right now. Trampoline or diving board. So I'm down to crypto TA. You can follow me on X at down to crypto TA. You can also follow the Coin Kings DA. So with the D as in dog, A as in apple, Coin King on X as well. I will put out an update. I try to keep it minimal. That way I'm not too late on saying anything that needs to be relevant to you. So you will have to do some work. Um, if it's something worth saying, I'll say it. Otherwise, it's all been said here today in terms of what I'm looking for in price action. I'm really trying. Hmm. The more they hammer at it, the more they hammer at it, they're hammering at it. All right. I will see you either on X or tomorrow morning, whichever one comes first, with how price action is going to be moving. The market open here in about an hour and hour and a half, something like that. Much love and peace.